I'm just waking up from a nap, and it was one of those naps where you wake up and you sometimes don't even remember what day it is because the nap was just that good. I needed that nap, really needed that. So we're going to get a video started because I was thinking about some stuff today. Woke up early, got a lot of things done, had a few adjustments to my schedule. So now there were certain things that were happening where I felt like I was spiritually exhausted at one point. And it's not because of anything particular. It was just as if in the spirit world, I was being attacked. And it was like my body needed to recover in a way for my spirit to be able to continue forward. So that's what we're doing. But I wanted to talk about how I was ignorant on a lot of different things. I used to be very ignorant on a lot of different things. And even when I'm ignorant now on some things, I fully disclose that because I know that I don't know everything. I know that I'm still learning just as much as I'm a teacher. I'm still a student. And that's my mindset. That's how I operate. That's how I live. And I know that I'm going to be learning for the rest of my life. And I'm excited about that. I'm excited to learn. And it's amazing to see some of the people that are so caught up with being right. They would rather be right than they would rather try to look at things from a place of trying to understand where people are coming from and why people are coming from those places. I totally understand if my message and my messages sometimes piss people off. I totally get it. Because if I were listening to me, how I was, 5-10 years ago, if I was listening to somebody like me on the internet, I wouldn't be so happy about certain things that I would be saying either. But now, I don't have that perspective. I have a lot more, even though I've always been an open-minded person, and I've been able to entertain ideas without accepting them fairly easily. I also understand that there's a certain kind of industriousness and intellectual rigor that can sometimes take over when it's almost like a spirit of industriousness and intellectual, it's like a prowl, really. It's like an intellectual prowl. You're on the prowl to be right. And I see a lot of that starting to happen. And I really want to reach the people that see where I'm going with this kind of stuff. If you don't see where I'm going with this kind of stuff that I'm making, it's not for you. It's really not for you. Because the people that are fully understanding where we're going with this kind of message and content, they know where we're going. And it's closer to truth and further away from falsehood and just rejecting falsehood and being in line with the truth. Because here, being a truth seeker is what I'm most interested in. Being a person that leads by example is what I'm most interested in. Standing on principle is what I'm most interested in. And I understand that it's not going to necessarily be the most popular things to do sometimes. In fact, over the last week or so, I've made certain decisions in which I've lost a lot of people that were claiming before that, they'd be the ride or die kind of people with me. And I'm not surprised when this kind of stuff happens. I'm not surprised anymore. I'm disappointed sometimes, sure, but I'm not surprised because I know what people are capable of. And what really woke me up to reality being real was that nature can be very cruel, but what's crueler than nature is acting with the intent for maliciousness and evil. That's more cruel because nature's already cruel. And I could accept that before. I accepted that in this world, a lot of the times it's hunt or be hunted. And I get it. I understand that point of view. I understand that's reality. But what I could never really understand were people that were intentionally going out of their way to betray or to inflict harm, etc. And I was so ignorant. I was so ignorant that people were not like this. And I was so ignorant in the sense that I genuinely thought most people had good intentions for life itself. I thought most people had a reverence for life, even though, yeah, sure, there were things that we could always work on and be better at. I thought for the most part, people are generally pretty good. And in some ways, I still think that, but in other ways, I completely don't think that way at all. I think there's also a lot of people that are scorpions and snakes, and that at the first sign of trouble or at the first sign of a disagreement, they will turn on you. And I don't want a bunch of yes people on this channel. I don't want a bunch of yes sir, yes this. I don't want that. I want there to be an open dialogue. I want there to be an open understanding in which we might have different perspectives, but that doesn't mean that we cannot live in spirit and truth together. And yeah, sure, there are not going to be things that we agree on, but that doesn't mean I want to inflict violence or spiritual violence on anybody necessarily. Are there people that I really don't like in this world? Yeah, absolutely. But I don't want to harm them just to harm them. Okay, I'm not that kind of person. And so what I was most ignorant about was just how far some people are willing to go when they disagree with you or when they think you're wrong. They will do anything sometimes to make it seem like you're not who you say you are. Your reputation is this. You're not this. You're that. You're not worth it. You're not that. You're not this. You are this. You are that. Blah 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 blah. And I'm not here to try to change anybody's mind. That's another thing about me. I'm not trying to change anybody's mind. You understand with me. I am just speaking from a place of my heart. And what I'm sharing, what's on my heart, I'm sharing what's on my mind. If you resonate with it, that's great. If you don't, that's fine too. In my eyes, but in a lot of people's eyes, they're not going to see it that way. And I understand that some people are going to make certain claims sometimes that we just don't like. And I don't know what to tell these people other than you're probably just not meant to be on this channel. Because the way that I speak is that I speak as if I am right because I have conviction and I've actually thought about these things. I thought about why it's important to talk about these subjects. I thought about why I need to talk about certain topics sometimes. Like, I'm not directionless. I don't just diddly-dally around. And what's funny is when I see people saying this kind of stuff and they think that I'm still like a 12-year-old boy that I was. And yeah, I was ignorant at 12. Absolutely. And I sure as hell did not know a lot about what the world really was about. Absolutely. And I'm not saying I know everything now, but I'm saying that, if you have such conviction yourself about what's true and what's not, go create something for the people and let the battle of ideas hash themselves out. Okay, that's I'm going to be with the lions. If you want to be with your sheep, that's fine. You guys can be with your sheep over there. I'm going to choose to be a lion because that's what I am and that's who I am. Not necessarily not in like the furry sense for all the weirdos out there. People will do anything to take things out of context. It's hilarious. Like, they'll take anything of what you say and they'll just read the title. I love people like that. I love people like that. or they read the title and they'll make a judgment about the video based off of the title, not listening to anything, or they're asking questions. Here, yeah, you know what? While I'm at this, if you're asking questions about the video or about what I said in the video and you didn't listen to the whole thing, I'm not going to respond to you if I answer the question in the video. Okay, it's your responsibility as the viewer to do your own research. It's not my responsibility. I'm not going to hold your hand and walk you around the park of ideas and showing you, oh, that idea is that, and this idea is this, and this is that. And then if you have questions, I'm going to be able to help you on the monkey bars, and you're going to be able to fly on the monkey bars just fine because I've got your back. I can hold you. No. God has your back. Okay? God has your back. I've got the back of my people. Absolutely. But people just randomly on the internet demanding answers and writing a whole book about things, I just don't have time for that anymore, okay? So that's another thing I was ignorant about. When I first started YouTube, I genuinely thought that because of the content that I would be making, people would probably be more understanding because I'm actually trying to do some good in the world. I really do have good intentions, and I really see that this is the God-shaped hole in society that I want to really make sure that we have a community of people that are fully fledged, that are educated, that are fit, that are reasonable, that are godly, and women that are warm, inviting, feminine, empathetic, and men that are like godlike savages that know how to create. I think we need more people like that. So here, I'm gonna do this. And there's been a lot of support, 100%, and shout out to all the supporters. And to all the haters and such, you're right. You're right. Now go somewhere else so we can move on over here. Like, seriously, man. It's hilarious. But, I understand that that's just part of the reality. That's just part of putting yourself out there. That's part of what this life is about. But I was totally ignorant, and I had no clue in some senses of just how bizarre some people would go, like how bizarre some people would act and the lengths they will go to just try to prove a point. And I understand that to some degree. I understand that because I will go to great lengths to prove a point, but not because of just some random person on the internet that I saw a video and such, and I'm now going to hunt them down. No. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about proving a point to myself. When I was betrayed by my closest friends and my family years ago, that was really the wake-up call where I realized, holy crap, some people that have cheered you on your whole life will turn on you. So I'm never really surprised anymore if that kind of stuff happens. I'm not surprised at all because I've seen it happen before. There's nothing new under the sun, right? And so I'm not surprised. I'm disappointed again. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm disappointed, but I'm not surprised. And I still hope that these people, and I pray for these people, and it's not my intent to wish anybody really ill will, but when it comes to being who I am, I'm going to stand by that. And I'm going to make certain decisions that some people are not going to like, and that's okay. And I would encourage you to do the same thing. We might not agree, you and I right here, right now, as the viewer, you may not agree with everything I say, and I might not agree with everything you say. But if we can find common ground in which we can understand where each other are coming from, even though we don't necessarily agree, for me, that would be enough. And I'm not thinking that we need less division and more unity. I mean, God's people are going to become more united, I think, down the line for sure. And the people that are not are going to be divided even more. I mean, it's already kind of happening. But it's not just about politics. It's not just about, celebrities. It's not about the government. It's not about. It's about spiritual warfare and understanding how to maneuver in the best possible fashion to increase the probability of what you want to see manifest itself be manifested through your creative strength and endurance and power. And God help the enemies that come in our path, because we're not going to. Spiritually speaking, we're not going to. We're done playing nice guy. Okay, no more Mr. Nice Guy, no more Mr. Nice prayer person or whatever. Oh, I just want everybody to do that and to find Christ. It's like, nah. You're either on God's team or you're not. You're either seeing the truth or you're not. People might say it's black and white. Oh, that's a black and white perspective. You don't really know what you're talking about. You're exactly the kind of person I'm talking about. And that's how I know what I'm talking about. I don't just say things, I just say things. That's not who I am. But anyways, guys, I wanted to come through and kind of confess a lot of things that I was ignorant about in the past, and how moving forward, that kind of ignorance was a blessing, actually. That kind of naivete was blessing. I was naive and I was ignorant, and I was burned for it. But I came out on the other side ever stronger, and I praise God for that. So if you do want to join a godly community, we have the Regal Change Academy. There's a free Discord available, as well as the paid community. We have the Art of War class series coming up next Saturday, December 21st. And that's going to be a 7-week series where we meet once a week and go and read through The Art of War by Sun Tzu. And we also have, in the regular membership, we have a weekly group call as well as 2 weekly Bible study calls now. And I want to appreciate everybody that's been moving from the YouTube platform over to X and Rumble recently. I appreciate your guys' extra support there. And peace be with you all. Till next time.